What's going on, guys? I'm walking my dog and I'm just making another video. So what I want to talk to you about, a lot of people have been asking me about SEO, even though it's not really something that I want to continue to talk about, but because I appreciate you guys, I will talk about it. So first and foremost, I think the best thing you can do in your career if you work in SEO is to not just focus on SEO. Me and Cynthia, if you've been around for that long, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, was telling everyone that you need to be a full stack marketer. You can't just focus on one skill set, right? Like SEO is good, but it only solves a specific problem. There's other problems that need to be solved for clients. The true thing that you really need to focus on is becoming an expert in an industry, figuring out how to solve issues in that industry, and then getting good at solving those specific problems. And this will reward you, not just if you want to be an entrepreneur, but also if you want a job. If you work in a specific industry, you have a higher likelihood of getting a job because you know the nuances of the industry versus people who are not specialized in that industry, right? So it's just better for your career overall. I also think that the most important skills in marketing, you need to know two things: how to get traffic and how to convert traffic. I think personally that you need to understand how to get traffic from all angles. And that could be Facebook ads, that could be Google ads, that could be SEO, that could be YouTube, that could be anything. Your job is really to be a marketer, honestly. Jobs have created these specific roles, and these roles have made you commoditized. Therefore, you think that you have to do this one specific task, but you don't realize how much that is really hurting you. I really think that it is way better to be a generalist than to be a specialist. Someone who knows a lot about a multitude of different things is more resourceful than someone who only knows a lot about one thing, right? So with the state of SEO in today's day and age, I think the biggest challenge is really just figuring out tracking. There's a tool called Profound that seems to be trying to solve this problem. It's pretty expensive, but I do think that this is going to be the biggest issue. If you can, because you have to think about it. Clients come to you for them to get a specific result. And it's not just about rankings. It's about also making sales, right? So before, SEO was really good because, okay, you got this, you keep getting traffic and then you get more sales, and you could prove like, hey, you got more traffic and you're making way more money. Traffic is decreasing, obviously. The types of traffic that are coming to pages have higher intent. So that's kind of good. We're seeing higher conversion rates in those specific types of traffic. But ultimately that's your goal. Your goal is to get people to come to their website and make as many sales as possible, right? The KPIs need to shift. It can no longer, I haven't really talked to anyone about traffic in a very long time when it comes to organic. Not traffic, about rankings. I never talk about rankings. I always found reporting on rankings to be stupid. And the reason why is because clients can tend to get fixated on rankings instead of the true progress that's being made. Progress will be shown in revenue and in traffic, right? But I think more than ever right now, it's just like when somebody is paying you for paid, right? What really matters is how much conversions are we getting. Nobody cares about traffic from paid search or paid media if the traffic doesn't convert, right? Nobody cares. So I think that that's going to be the same for SEO. Like, I mean, it has always been the same, honestly. Nobody cares about traffic. We care about conversions. It's a sad reality for many people in the SEO space because that was one of the main selling points of SEO. You pay me this amount, I'll get you all this traffic. It snowballs over time. It competes with paid. I mean, it made it a great offer. Times are changing. Things are different. Doesn't mean that SEO isn't still a great skill to learn, because at the end of the day, someone is going to show up in these AI platforms and your clients are going to want to show up too, because for every time that these people show up and they don't, they're basically losing customers. So SEO is still important. It is. But it's not the most important thing. To me, the most important thing is marketing psychology. Do you understand how to influence people? To me, that's the most important. If you can't influence people to buy stuff, if your client doesn't have a good product that makes people want to come in, then you're basically putting yourself at a disadvantage, right? So SEO is still primarily the way that I make money. But a skill that I've been doing a lot recently is also copywriting. Copywriting is not dead. I don't care what anybody says. And people who are just using ChatGPT to write copy are so behind, because a person who's only using ChatGPT that doesn't understand the fundamentals of copywriting would never be able to compete with me. And, if you feel, a little scared by this change, you feel like you have to go learn this new skill set. You got to learn Facebook ads, or you got to learn Google ads, or you got to learn something that's completely foreign to you. This is what it's about. This is what being a marketer is about. And I just feel like, I feel like these are the best skills. This is the greatest opportunity right now, understanding this stuff. And you just test on Facebook, you figure it out, the same way you learned SEO, you figure it out. You test on, I think Facebook is honestly probably the greatest marketing skill right now. Hard skill. Creative is obviously number one, because creative performs well in every single, you need to be a creative strategist, period. And when I say creative strategist, I don't just mean Facebook ads, creative strategist. I mean, you have to understand video. You have to understand content creation. Content creation is at the forefront of marketing. It has always been, and it's never going to go anywhere. You always are going to need content to convince people to do things. So wherever the future is going with that, right? They're starting to make these glasses that people are wearing. That's technology. That has more advanced technology. That's probably going to be a big thing. People are probably going to be serving ads there. I don't know how that's going to work, but if you want to be future proof and you're concerned about what's going on, my thing to you would be learn how to master creative strategy. And all of the other platforms, yes, if you want a job, you're going to need to know how to use Facebook ads. You're going to need to know how to use Google ads, which I think Google ads is outdated, by the way. But you're going to need to know how to use these things. Yes. And there's going to be new platforms that emerge in the same way that TikTok emerged, which is going to work different. And there's going to be new organic platforms that emerge in the same way that Threads emerged, which is going to be different. So this is my opinion on the state of SEO in 2025. I think you need to prioritize just being a good marketer and adapt.